Well, good morning, snow fans. Welcome to the Snow Church video for Monday, December 26th. Yes, it is the day after Christmas. It's also Boxing Day in our neighbors to the north up in Canada. So happy Boxing Day, all you Canucks up there. And woo, that was a storm. I know there's been people that have been at least before the storm really even got going, there were people poo-pooing it, saying, "Oh, this is not going to be anything. I you can almost see the sun. What kind of blizzard is this?" Well, it panned out. Just about everywhere in the UP saw at least 2 feet of snow. The exceptions might be down in the far south, around say Menominee and Escanaba, Gladstone. Those places typically don't get much, if any, lake effect snow. But even here in sunny Jacobsville, we got about 2 feet. I'd say 22 to 24 inches of snow. It was a very difficult storm to get an accurate measurement from because of the amount of winds that we had. We had winds gusting over 50 miles an hour. I have heard of some drifts over 10 feet tall. In some places, drifts of 8 feet on the trails. So I'm sure that they're out now grooming things and knocking down those drifts and making it all nice and flat for you folks coming up to snow play. But give them some time. This was a doozy of a storm. It also came on a holiday weekend, so groomer guys might not have been as plentiful, but at any rate, tons of snow up here now. It's like midwinter, and it's wonderful. And I've got some better news in the forecast for the end of this week, so stay tuned. We're looking at the 3-day snowfall map ending this morning. This isn't able to cover the entire storm, but it basically covers the weekend, and you can see what happened Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The snows were confined to the lake effect belts of the Great Lakes, Buffalo area getting hammered as well, as did some areas of the Tug Hill Plateau, and northwest lower Michigan also getting crushed. And then this was the snows that came in overnight, well, late yesterday and overnight, producing probably 2 to 4 inches in most cases. Looks like some 6-inch snows up into areas of North Dakota. And that system right now is working its way through southeast Iowa and bringing a little light snow to northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. And it will continue to work south and east and sweep this way and bring probably an inch or so to most of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. There may be a little bit more than that falls down in here because it's getting this activity, and then it may get a little bit more activity later on today. But this whole system, very weak, starved for moisture, not a big snowfall producer at all. Jumping then to our model prognostication. Heard a lot of people poo-pooing the models on social media. There were a lot of angry people on social media last couple of days about this storm. I really don't know where the complete and total bust came from. I will say that I did not pay any attention to mainstream media, and of course I don't get local weather forecasts like from Chicago or Milwaukee or anywhere like that. So I don't know what those folks were saying. So I'm not saying you didn't have a reason to have a beef if on like Friday they were still saying you were going to get a ton of snow. Yeah, I'd be angry too. But at any rate, just seemed like an inordinate amount of angry people out there with the storm, and the fact that it actually, for most areas, from what I was forecasting anyway, it did very, very well. Again, I know mine is not the only forecast out here. Not sure what Blue, our amazing guard dog, is seeing, but At any rate, he ran off. So here we are at the forecast. This is right about now, 15Z on Monday, mid-morning. And then we'll just kind of wrap this through. And that system moves off then. This is the same time, about mid-morning tomorrow. Leading edge of these clipper snows will be working through Minnesota on their way into the UP. This is not going to be a big deal either. Probably about 1 to 3 inches of snow in Minnesota Arrowhead and the northern UP as we watch that skip through and out of here. Now look at all these isobars packed together going in that direction. That's not good. That means that we end up having a strong southerly flow up out of the Gulf like this and like this. That pumps up some warm temperatures. Warm for this time of the year anyway. We're not going to be seeing any 60s in the Midwest, but yikesers. There we go. This is by Wednesday at about midday, and then we'll just keep creeping through. And no real big disturbances yet to tap into the Gulf moisture. I mean, this atmosphere is getting really, really primed with moisture off the Gulf, because you can see how the flow, you know, is from not just the tropical Atlantic and then up through the Gulf and then up this way. So loads of moisture in there, but there's really no disturbances to cause precipitation to fall. The one is out here in the Rockies, bringing them some decent snows. And then here we are by Thursday morning, 7 a.m. We start to see the first signs of a disturbance getting itself organized. But the good news is this thing is not going to wrap itself up into a major monster storm. Why? Well, because it doesn't have a whole lot of cold air on the backside like this last one did. So you don't get that energy, you don't get that temperature contrast, and you don't get the energy really gassed up for the system. So it is going to produce some precipitation, but it looks mainly light and scattered. We'll just keep creeping along here. And this is about 7 p.m. on Thursday. You can just see how, you know, I mean, here's an area of low pressure. Here would be the warm front, and here would be the cold front. In fact, let me just draw that in real quick. Low pressure would be here. We'd have the warm front going out like that. And then we'd have the cold front coming down like that. You guys probably wonder how I know that. Well, because I can see the little kinks in the isobars. And those generally relate to fronts. Either warm front, cold front, occluded front, dry front. At any rate, keep clicking through and watch how the moisture is just spotty and mainly light. I mean, there are a few greens in there indicating over 1/10 of an inch, but still, we're not getting into the yellows or the oranges in the Midwest anyway. That's all down here with thunderstorm activity in the Gulf Coast states. So here it is by Friday at about midday, and it's already passed and gone. As far as the northward is concerned, you've got some rains in the southern Midwest, but we don't typically look for at this area for you know, tons of snowmobiling. Maybe if you live there, a different story, but it's not one of those go-to places for snowmobiling, I guess I should say. And then we'll just keep bebopping along. Some more precip riding south of the front then. And then we get to late Sunday night. Here's another low getting itself organized. right here in the panhandles. Wrong color, but there. Another low getting itself organized. And then that low will be tracking to the north and east, and that's a track that's usually, real good for big time snows to occur on its north and west side. But this storm too does not have a ton of cold air on its backside. And while we've got the warm, juicy air coming up out ahead of the system, we don't have the cold air coming down behind it, cold and dry air coming down behind it, to really get this thing wound up into a major area of low pressure. So let's just go through the maps here and see what this thing does. See, I don't know if you can read this 5400, but that is that thickness line that I looked for to denote rain and snow, especially now that we're kind of into the heart of winter. And let's see if I can keep it zoomed in like this, maybe back out a little bit, but still be able to advance. Yes, I can. So this low's a little bit better organized. It does have more precipitation back here in the cold sector. And you see how that 5400 line comes in about, they use purple, so I'm going to use purple. Comes in, bisects the Keweenaw, comes down through, southeastern Minnesota, really. But this is just as the precipitation is approaching. So what I can do is clear that out and keep advancing it. Here you get some heavier precip. And then they do have the 5400 line a little further north, but I think that this is going to result in snows. And I'll show you. Even the model thinks so. Now the 5400 line is all clear of, say, the Keweenaw. The eastern UP is still in the warm side of that 5400 line, but there we go with that. So that's that storm. Now, let's see what kind of snowfall we might get out of it. All right, I'm going to probably run through this one pretty quick till we get to that storm for Monday, Tuesday of next week. But here's the current one going on. And then here comes the Clipper system for tomorrow. And then there'll be one streak of snow coming out with that first system for Friday. And here it comes. Okay. Oh, I gotta change the model run. All right, do that again. Okay, first streak of snow gets out Thursday into Friday. Then kind of quiet through the weekend, but then here comes the Monday, Tuesday storm, and you can see where it's putting the snow. Basically, well, there it is with the snow ideas. So we could still see some rains occur, especially by the time, Friday we could see some spotty showers occur in the Northwoods. I don't think that would be a major problem. I mean, you don't necessarily want to be out skiing or snowmobiling and get caught in the rain, but it might be a case where you can watch the radar and see if anything's near you, and if it's not, then get out and snow play for a couple of hours till any kind of rain showers come sweeping in. The system for late Sunday into Monday and Tuesday probably has a better chance of bringing rains to the northern Midwest before it changes to snow. And it does look like the snow we're going to get will probably exceed that which is lost from the rain. So it's still not a perfect forecast. We still do have some non-snow precipitation in the forecast, but it's looking better than it did on Friday. And, hopefully we can kind of keep creeping into the colder realm of the possibilities with this system and kind of do away with all of the rain chances or non-snow precipitation chances across the North Woods. By the time we get to the early part of next week, I realize that the holiday period will be over and a lot of folks will be back to work, but there are those that play it smart and also are lucky enough to be able to make their trip right after a holiday period like that. Let the groomers get out, do their magic on the trails, and then get out there and ride, and you've got pretty quieter trails for the time you're there than during the crazy holiday weekend. But there's a lot of places people can snowmobile right now, this week, right on through Friday at least. So hopefully that's happening, and we're not, everybody's not just jamming into one spot in the Midwest. Spread the wealth, as we say. Well, I think that covers it for today, folks. Appreciate you jumping in on this day after Christmas, and I will be here tomorrow. So make sure you keep your sticks on the ice and have a great one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.